Tapduk'un tapusunda, kul olduk kapısında. Yunus miskin çiğ idik, piştik elhamdülillah. What we know about Yunus Emre's life is limited, but this much is clear. He lived in Anatolia in the 13th century, and he moved through these lands. He lived among different people, different languages, and different beliefs. What allows us to know Yunus today is not a detailed biography, but his own poetry. Yunus speaks to us from inside his texts. And in these poems, the word I doesn't remain where we expect it to be. Severim ben seni candan içeri. Yolum ötmez bu erkandan içeri. Beni bende demen, bende değilim. Bir ben vardır bende, benden içeri. Nereye varırsam gönlüme dolusun. Seni nereye koyayım bundan içeri. Beni benden alana ermez elim. Kadem kim basa sultandan içeri. In this poem, Yunus Emre doesn't speak from a stable self. The voice that speaks is always moving inward. The word içeri, inside, is repeated again and again, but it never points to a final place. It's not a destination, it's a direction. Severim ben seni candan içeri. I love you from within can, from inside life itself. Here the word can doesn't simply mean soul or life. In Turkish, can is intimacy itself, the seat of feeling, breath and presence. To love someone candan içeri is not merely to love deeply, but love from within what gives life. Yolum ötmez bu erkandan içeri. My path doesn't pass beyond this erkan. While love moves inward, the path doesn't move freely. Erkan suggests order, methods, a way that must be kept. Depth is allowed, but not without measure. The poem then turns to the question of the self. Beni bende demen, bende değilim. Don't call me me, I'm not within myself. The I that speaks here cannot be located, it cannot be held, it cannot even be named from within itself. When Yunus says this, he is not rejecting identity in order to replace it with another one, he is undoing the very idea of a fixed center. Bir ben vardır bende, benden içeri. There is a self within me, deeper than myself. Here, Yunus doesn't say that there are two selves. He says that the self we try to name is not where we think it is. The phrase benden içeri is crucial. In Turkish, içeri doesn't only describe a location, it suggests a continuous inward pull, a movement that never settles into a final point. This means the inner self is not a stable core, but something that withdraws as one moves toward it. Nereye varırsam gönlüme dolusun. Wherever I go, you feel my heart. Wherever I go, whatever I touch, whatever I set my hand to in this world, I found you there. I don't leave you behind. I don't move toward you from afar. I carry you with me into every place, into every act. And when I arrive, you are already present, already feeling the heart. Seni nereye koyayım bundan içeri? Where could I place you deeper than this? You are already in the deepest place of my heart, where the self begins. There is no further depth to offer, no place beyond this. And finally, the poem reaches a threshold. Beni benden alana ermez elim. My hands cannot reach what takes me away from myself. Kadem kim basa sultandan içeri. No foot may step further inward than the sultan. The hands cannot reach, the foot cannot step forwards, and the language itself comes to a halt. Yunus Emre doesn't resolve this inward movement, he lets it remain open, unfinished. And in this poem, Turkish is not used to define the self, but to replace it gently, insistently inward. Tapduk'un tapusunda, kul olduk kapısında. Yunus miskin çiğ idik, piştik elhamdülillah. At Tapduk's lodge, we stood as servants at his door. We were unripe, and we ripened, thanks be to God. These autobiographical lines don't recount events. They offer no dates, no places, yet they speak in the first person. They speak from within a life. This is not a symbolic beginning, but a remembered position, standing at the door, learning to remain there. To say, we were unripe, we ripened, is not to claim completion, but to look back on a passage, a lived transformation spoken with humility rather than certainty. What we hear here is not a doctrine, but a voice reflecting on its own becoming. This is where Yunus Emre's poetry begins, from a life touched by change, from a self that has learned to loosen its hold and to speak from within that loosening. And perhaps this is why his words still reach us, not as teaching, not as legend, but as a life quietly speaking through its own turning inward. Yunus Emre speaks to us from within a life, from the quiet work of becoming. But this inward voice is not the only one that rises from 13th century Anatolia. In the next episode, we will turn to Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi, to a voice that doesn't remain still, that moves through stories, motion, and invitation. From Yunus's inward turning, we move toward another kind of journey. Until then, travel well.